Today, we are invited behind the scenes at a film called Tried by Fire. We are here at Vera Moore's estate. We're going to be talking to some of the actors. We're going to be celebrating life. And who knows, you might even see us behind the scenes. With us now is Judith Gaffney. You might have seen her on my show before for her beautiful designs with culture trees. But Judith, thank you for inviting me to this big production you're doing.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad you're here.
The serendipity of the people that I've known through different walks of my life. And all of a sudden I just show up and I don't know, I feel blessed today.
Yeah, it's a blessing to have you here. This production, this whole movie is awesome. I'm really excited about it. It's filled with passion, drama, suspense, love interest. It's a conglomerate of so much. So I know that when it hits the box office, that it's going to be an awesome event.
Tell us about your role. Tell us about your part in this film.
I am actually the very best friend of Pastor Mia. We've known each other since grade school. We went our separate ways. We graduated from high school and then college, and I went on to Cornell. I'm a psychologist. I love doing that, listening to people. And so she wound up being the chief of police. And so we kind of, didn't get in contact with each other for a little while, but then I got an offer in Upper Liston. And so I'm back in Upper Liston, and I've got her back as well.
It's a faith-based movie based on, to me, perseverance. And I play the lead antagonist, James Manning. So it's a challenging role.
I believe Lenny, I and a lot of kids can relate to Lenny because he's that high school graduate, doesn't know what he wants to do with his life yet. And he's kind of pressured by his peers and his family by wanting to be a pastor as well. And that's not the kind of road he wants to go down.
I play Jerry Manning. Jerry Manning is an unscrupulous commercial real estate developer. And I'm originally from Newark, New Jersey. That's where I was born. And I think in northern New Jersey, I was exposed to a lot of racist sentiments in some of the communities that I lived in. So it was easy to find the character. Not easy to play because it's a challenge to play, but I recognize what the challenge is and what it needs to be to help tell this story.
Where did you grow up? Tell us about that.
So I'm originally from Jamaica, Queens, New York. I've lived in New York. My family moved to Maryland. And so that's where I reside now. So I'm between New York and Maryland. I am working, I have a nonprofit organization. The PMs of the City is my full-time property management company. And I am just living life. I'm enjoying life. I'm your International Ms. USA 2021. I was just crowned.
Congratulations.
I grew up on Long Island. I'm a native New Yorker, but not Long Island like they like to pronounce it. It's Long Island. We say it right. And I just, I've lived here my whole life, different parts of the state and of the island, I should say. And coming here, like I said, I've always been in, done some theater, been in different productions, written things and that and the other, but film was just not something that I ever pursued. So it's very fun being around such a tremendous cast with all these credits. And they're like, yeah, I remember when I started out and you have to do this and you have to do all this. I'm like, or you could just be like me and kind of fall into it and just be blessed by God. I don't know,
Was born in Harlem, raised in Harlem in the Bronx because that was part of the Black middle class happening in New York City. And then I left at 16 to go to Fisk University for my freshman year, historically Black college, and finished at Emerson College in Boston.
Now, how did you get this role?
My father in the movie had sent me the cast production and said that this role was something that could maybe fit for me. And I auditioned and here I am.
I was going to say, and you also resemble both the people that play your parents. I mean, did you notice that?
Yes, I did. And I didn't know if that was like an after the fact, but I did notice.
Yeah, I think it was after the fact. Well, Karen called me and she had seen me perform and I keynote I'm speaking all over the place. And she called and we went out to lunch. And she says, I got this project. I want you to look at and read. And when I read it, it was just me.
because of my background, my relationship with God, with Christ. It's my foundation, my source, my core values, and then dealing with things that are going on now. Yeah. And, it's wonderful. It's diverse and inclusion. It was just perfect. So I did, and I got it. I'm a little loud. I'm sorry.
Actually, a friend of mine had called Karen Broadway and mentioned the fact that they were casting for the film, and she couldn't get in touch with me. So she wound up getting in touch with my husband, and my husband was like, honey, you got to respond to this call. And so I did. And then I think that was like a Wednesday, and I went to the audition on the Saturday. And that's pretty much how I got cast.
I really wasn't going to be in it. I know Karen and Judy, and they asked me to be part of the creative team, and I was doing readings with the actors that were auditioning. And Frank Muni, who plays my husband in the movie, came to audition, and we had this instant chemistry that was just, it was crazy. But I was perfectly happy to stay behind the scenes. Like, I didn't want to, I'm good. I don't need to have this on camera, right? So he came back, he ended up scoring the gig, and we were trying to find someone to play this role of Cynthia. And nobody else came to it. And Vera Moore was there the second time we auditioned with Frank. And after he left the room, she points at me and she goes, you need to play the wife. Wow. And I kind of had felt that too. Like, you start to get a sense like, yeah, this is something special here. So this is actually my feature film debut.
What are some of your favorite songs that you just still love to sing?
Well, one of them I sang here because it's not really my song, but it's Mahalia Jackson. And she's my, since she's a woman, so I can't call her a patron saint, but she's a saint. And her spirit is, of course, from my era. And so my other favorite singer is Aretha Franklin. And, they're gospel, they're saints. And of course, I can't sing like them, but you get such inspiration. Then you inspire others. So I wanted to sing those songs that I knew would, because when we were in between takes, they said, okay, Miss Moore, you can rest. I said, well, could I please worship?
Let me pray.
So the more I did it, the better it got.
What put this on your heart? What put this story in your heart?
I think just this last 18 and a half months, couple of years have been just really hard for a lot of people, really difficult for a lot of people. I think a lot of things were exposed, hurts, pains, struggles that people were going through. And you really saw people really having a hard time with the pandemic. You had people that were suffering depression. You had people that were dealing with internal issues. And I wanted to portray a movie that was real, that talks about challenges that we deal with when we are pursuing purpose and different real life situations, because life, it hits us all different ways. And I think that just life itself, just thinking so much, it just gave me so much time to think during the pandemic. Mm-hmm. And I really want to talk about real life struggles, even in the faith-based community.
So you personally, when you're preparing for a role like this, right? It's like a lot of things come up, your childhood, who you are as an adult, and things like that.
It's actually very difficult. We had one rehearsal where I had an emotional breakdown because I had to announce to everyone how difficult it is to carry that side of you. And I just had to let everyone know. And the cast is very supportive because 85% of the cast is African American, and everyone's very supportive, that they understand that I'm just doing the role, and they're like, you're doing it great, which is good to hear, not good to hear.
So tell us, where'd you grow up?
I originally grew up in Trinidad and Tobago, an island in the Caribbean, and I moved here about 8 years ago.
Tell us about the journey of growing up there and now coming here.
Growing up in Trinidad, there wasn't really that much care for what I wanted to do in my profession, for acting and stuff like that. I actually do voiceover as well, and I started doing it as soon as I hit puberty.
Now give us one little voiceover. What's one voice?
I can probably do
Autobots, transform, take cover, and roll out.
That's really good. Was there someone when you grew up that was like a mentor to you, someone that taught you how to be philanthropic? Who was that? Who taught your spirit?
So my spirit was taught by trial and error. And that's what's different about my story. So I did not have that growing up. I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have somebody pouring into me, telling me I could. I was the child that was bullied from the 5th grade to the 10th grade, which is why I started my nonprofit. I mean, from having the short hair, not looking like everybody else, being rejected, going through depression, facing anxiety, being cast out. And then to see the woman that God allowed me to walk into to be today. Come on now.
My mother, I was named after my mother. Her name was Vera, the best mother and father in the world. I have no sad stories about my dad. My dad, they broke the mold. Okay, so no sad stories. And 7 children, 5 brothers, but we were poor. And I really mean that, poor. We were poor because we were on welfare coming up. But I never knew I was poor because my mother always provided and we always had. I never was hungry because she knew how to do stuff. You know, I always had clothes. And I'm going to tell you why I never was hungry. Maybe one of the reasons. My mother was a domestic worker. She scrubbed floors. And she'd bring all the food home because some of my friends would say, how do you know it? How do you know about gefilte fish and borscht? I'm telling you, I'm serious. I'm not joking. You know, I was raised on that because she'd bring the food home, you know. And so we always ate. And then when she worked for Italians or whoever it was, she brought the food home. And it was delicious. So, but she always let us know we could. Yes, you can. Don't worry about it.
You've learned to be a religious leader. You've done so many things. You're an author, but you've had an extraordinary journey. I mean, can you just let my audience know just like some of the brief highlights, maybe even just within the last decade, Susan?
Well, while I was in Boston, we went to this wonderful church that allowed us to use our gifts. And so I've been an author, a faith leader, pastored a church for 30 years in New York City, and a diplomat. I was the first African-American, first woman to be the U.S. ambassador at large for international religious freedom in the Obama administration. So I had a wonderful career, and I had 199 countries in my portfolio. So literally, I've had the whole world in my hands.
With us now is Michael Wilson. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for your kindness behind the scenes today. We got involved in a lot of different things, and you're the musical director for this production,
Yes.
and also the spouse of the director and the writer, Karen.
Yes, that's true.
And also the brother-in-law, I guess, of Judith Gaffney.
Yes, that is also true. Yes.
It's a family affair.
Yes.
When you found out that Karen wanted to do this, you know, she's got a lot of credits behind her name and Broadway and all kinds of things. Right. What was your first thought? Did you say, yes, honey, we can do it?
My thought was it's about time. Okay. This is something that she's always desired to do as long as we've been married. Even before I married her, I knew that she always had aspirations to be a movie star and to do movies. Prior to this production, she had done a lot of Broadway type, films. Plays. Yeah, Broadway plays, right? And, now she's just getting to a place now where she wants to take it to the next level. So when she announced it, I was very glad for her because I'm saying, it's about time that you really go all the way. A gospel play is good, but to put together an entire movie is just another labor of love, just another effort. So when she announced that to me, I was thrilled because it just opened up a door and an avenue for a lot of opportunities.
One of your lead actors, right? Miss Melba Moore.
Yes.
You've worked with her before.
Yes, we did. I did a play in 2010 called Damaged, but Destined, but Yet Damaged. And Melba Moore was one of our featured singers, and she acted quite a bit in that role. And here we are again 11 years later, and she did a wonderful, job then, and as now she's still wonderful. Melba's she's just a living legend.
And speaking of legends, Vera Moore.
And Vera Moore. So there's more and there's more. And I love every bit of it. Seeing the two of those come together after 50 years. 50 years. And I think just to have these two legends work together and to be together, I get a joy out of just seeing that in itself.
When we saw each other recently, everything is rehearsal over virtual, and we just screamed because we haven't seen each other in 50 years.
And you still look beautiful, both of you. I mean, because I looked at the picture from that project back then, and I was like, neither one of you have really changed that much.
We were in Pearly Victorious together. Melba was a Tony Award winning, voice is impeccable. And I was in the chorus. And so it was about 2.5 years we were in Broadway with that. So it was just wonderful to see her. I'm just honored for her to be in it. And I'm just grateful. I'm thankful to God. I really am.
You both look the same. You look beautiful.
Yeah, but I'm freaked out because I came into this beautiful mansion and I know we're shooting here. So I said, well, why is Vera's picture here? And I said, I said, okay, they really did this nicely, so it would be authentic. I didn't realize it was her home.
So I saw you shooting things behind the scenes, and I thought at first you were a journalist, but not so. You're actually an actor.
I'm both. I've produced a lot of videos for lots of companies, and about 5 years ago decided to bring acting back into the mix. And so when I'm on a set and I'm part of a show, a TV show, or a film, I generally try to pitch in because we all have to wear, a number of different hats.
It was fun today because they actually let me push the play button so that everybody could do the scene on the music. I feel the same way, whether it's behind the scenes, in front of the camera. It's like when you're born into this sort of a field and you're born creative, that's all you know how to do. Like you don't want your hands to just go to waste. You want to be useful.
That's a good way to put it. You don't want any of your skills to go to waste. You don't want your skill set to be, you want to employ everything you know how to do well.
In high school, tell us one of your biggest roles. Were you in Bye Bye Birdie? Well, what were you in?
Oh my gosh. I started very late, actually. I started modeling my senior year of high school. So I played, there's Flowers for Algernon. Yes, I played somebody, Alice. I don't know if anyone knows that. Yeah.
So that was the moment that you decided, hey, you know what? I might want to do this.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's good not to have a plan B. A lot of times people say, well, if you couldn't be an actor, what would you want to grow up to be, right? Did you originally have a plan B?
I did. Okay. Business sounds a lot more boring. So I was like, this is so much more fun. I think I'm going to go with the acting.
And as a fashion designer, I think I might have seen one or two of your fashions on some of the actors.
Oh yeah, it's been a delight to have the opportunity to design Melba Moore, curate something for Melba Moore and some of the other actors and actresses. It's the main actress, Shenetta Malkia, yes, and so many other, even Dr. Sujay was able to do a shawl for her and earrings. So it's been great. And I've got to give kudos to my sister-in-law who did some earrings for me. So yeah, she does my earrings with the fabric that I have. But Culture Tree's designs, you will see it throughout the movie.
Okay. So I heard that you're kind of scoring some of the fight scenes and things, the drama.
Yes. I'm excited about that because usually when a lot of times when you watch a movie and you see the heroine or you see the hero, getting ready, they're lifting weights, they're studying their skills, they're out there with their weapon, the music picks up, the music gets intense, and you can see the crowd just bopping their head like, yeah, it's on now. So I would like to put together something that when people hear this track, that they're excited, that they're enlivened, and they have an expectation that it's on now. This
Now's the moment.
Just like a steady driving beat for just for listeners to listen to, and now it's like, okay, we're expecting something great for the next scene. So that's my intention.
I feel blessed and just to be I feel like I'm part of history. I feel like I am part of something great, and not anything because of me, because I believe that the whole cast, they're really giving 110%, and they are so excited about doing this film that it excites me. And my hope and desire is that all their dreams will come true. Everything they're involved in would prosper and be successful because they have really given 110% in this project. So I'm honored to have such a great cast.
Okay, so now this is behind the scenes of behind the scenes. Lorraine, so what was your experience like today as the camera person?
Oh my God, it was amazing. It was my first time joining the Donna Drake Show as your designated camera person. It was really enjoyable experience. We met so many characters, so many people, and just learning about this story is so inspiring, and it makes me want to write even more.
Now you've done your own film. What was your film?
It is called Delivered. It's my most recent film. It is a little bit of an adult subject matter, but just hearing Karen talk about her writing process and how passionate she is about her types of films makes me, 10 times more proud to be the director that I am.
She's really talented. And we just pushed this on like auto record right now.
Nobody behind the camera.
No, there's nobody behind the camera. It's just the two of us behind the scenes, behind the scenes. Thanks for watching. Bye.